On today's Smart 7, Rachel Reeves ready for Budget Day, Kamala Harris makes her closing argument, and lots more. It's Wednesday, 30th of October, it's World Audio Drama Day, and happy birthday, Henry Winkler.
The Smart 7. It's news, but
not the news.
Wednesday sees Rachel Reeves make history as the first female Chancellor to present a budget to Parliament. It's also the Labour Party's first budget for 14 years, and there has been considerable speculation and leaking about what it may contain. Media coverage has focused on taxes and the £22 billion hole in the public finances, with Labour promising not to raise taxes on working people, while there will be a rise in the minimum wage, and the state pension and VAT on public school fees is due to be introduced. Reeves was formally reprimanded by Speaker Lindsay Hoyle for leaking budget details, much to the delight of Shadow Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Laura Trott.
Justifying their action based on things that we've done doesn't really seem like the change that we were promised, now does it? We are learning the lessons of why we lost the election, but this government seems to be taking lessons from the worst bits of our record.
The Chancellor wasn't in any mood to be lectured by the Tories, however.
Well, it's good to be explained how to do my job by one of the members opposite who crashed our economy. £63.5 billion of investment into the UK were announced at our International Investment Summit because businesses have confidence that this government is bringing stability back to our economy.
Even before the budget drops, Health Secretary Wes Streeting was busy trying to talk up the government's plans to resuscitate the NHS. He's been trying to step away from referring to the system as broken and was asking for patience, warning that everything can't be fixed in a single budget. It is expected there'll be a 4% increase in spending on the NHS, and Streeting has already launched a public consultation intended to help drive improvements and feed into a 10-year plan. He says waiting lists are his number one target.
We are announcing our delivery of our manifesto commitments, the 40,000 more appointments every week to cut NHS waiting lists, and not just more appointments, but reformed ways of working.
Saffron Cordery is the Deputy Chief Executive of NHS Providers, and she says that while a budget increase is welcome, the NHS also needs more support for areas like social care.
Whilst we need the investment in getting the waiting lists down, we also need investment across the whole of the NHS. So we desperately need to invest in social care and local government.
Donald Trump continued to feel the heat on Tuesday over the poorly judged racist remarks made at his Madison Square Garden rally on Sunday. His rival Kamala Harris has seen a wave of support from prominent Hispanic and Puerto Rican celebrities, including Jennifer Lopez, whose parents come from the US territory. Trump held a rambling press conference at Mar-a-Lago, where he accused Harris of sowing hate and division. He was trying to make his point ahead of the Harris campaign's major event on Tuesday evening. The vice president and Democratic candidate addressed a crowd of tens of thousands at the Ellipse in Washington, the same location that Donald spoke at on January 6th. In what is the last major speech of her election campaign, she had a clear message for the American people.
America, for too long we have been consumed with too much division, chaos, and mutual distrust. And it can be easy then to forget a simple truth. It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way.
The US State Department expressed deep concern on Tuesday after an Israeli airstrike on the northern Gaza town of Beit Lahir killed almost 100 people. The strike on a building housing displaced families appears to have resulted in the death of over 24 children, and State Department spokesman Matthew Miller described it as a horrifying incident and said his government has asked the Israelis to explain what happened. It came as outrage grew over a ban by Israel's parliament, which will see the UN's Palestinian Refugee Agency, UNRWA, barred from operating within Gaza. The World Food Programme is already warning that a famine is imminent in Gaza, and James Elder from UNICEF says the ban could lead to a catastrophic situation.
In terms of the amount of aid that we distribute, so much with the support of UNRWA, if UNRWA is unable to operate, it'd likely see the collapse of the humanitarian system in Gaza.
Still to come on the Smart 7. United close in on new boss, and Selena Gomez gets her wand out right after this. Welcome back.
This week sees Carabao Cup action as the last 16 do battle for a quarter-final place. Tuesday night saw Southampton knock out Stoke, and Brentford beat Sheffield Wednesday on penalties, with 6 more games on Wednesday. The spotlight will be on Manchester United, who face Leicester under the guidance of interim manager Ruud van Nistelrooy, but it turns out Ruud might not be in charge for all that long. United are hoping to seal the deal for Sporting Lisbon boss Ruben Amorim in time for him to take charge against Chelsea this Sunday. Poor old Eric Ten Hag has been quickly forgotten, but Pep Guardiola, whose side faced Spurs on Wednesday, says Eric will be just fine.
It's our job, we have to accept it. I wish him all the best, he and his family, and of course he's going to come back stronger. And he knows, I know, everybody knows that our job depends on the results.
If you're of a certain age, then you'll have spent your Saturday mornings watching The Wizards of Waverly Place on the Disney Channel. The show, which ran from 2007, starred a young Selena Gomez as a wizard, along with her siblings in New York's Greenwich Village. The original show picked up Emmys and helped launch Selena's stellar career. Now she's back for a follow-up with a new young cast and her original show sibling David Henry, who plays Justin. Selena says they've played the roles for so long that the sibling relationship crosses over into real life.
There's some really touching moments that harken back right to the original show. Definitely. In a very sentimental way.
But also in real life, it's like, I feel like you're very protective of me, and I'm always like, so what's going on? I'm a little like, I kind of stir the pot a little.
Daniel Craig has certainly spread his wings as an actor since leaving the tuxedo of James Bond behind. He's had 2 hugely successful Knives Out movies, with a third on the way, and now he's heading for critical acclaim in a new A24 production called Queer. It's based on the early life of author William Burroughs, and the action takes place in Mexico City in the 1940s. Craig stars alongside Drew Starkey, who you may know from Outer Banks, and Variety describes the film as a sexy and surreal gay romance. It's directed by Luca Guadagnino, who gave us The Challengers and Call Me By Your Name, and it's due to hit cinemas on November 27th.
It's a wise old queen who taught me that I had a duty to live, to conquer hate with knowledge and sincerity and love. The difficulty is to convince someone else he is really part of you.
What else should I be?
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.
On November 7th, Thundercat, Karasoft, and NVIDIA teamed up to host a discussion with leading government panelists to speak on best practices and challenges agencies are facing with AI. Learn how we can plan to navigate complex policy landscapes, assess agency needs, and contribute to shaping the future of AI applications in the government. You can now tune into the conversation on the Feds at the Edge podcast, streaming on all major platforms. Visit thundercattech.com/events for more info. That's thundercattech.com/events.